Welcome to another episode of Pet Pals. I'm Bethany Davidson, the Humane Educator here at Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center. Right now our numbers are pretty low, so we only have 3 dogs that we're going to showcase for you today, but we're going to fill the rest of our show up with some rabbits and some cats that are also available for adoption. The first guest that Tammy has with us today is Skye, and she's been on the show before. Unfortunately, she's still looking for her forever home. She came in with another dog, similar age, similar size, named Zeus, and he has since been adopted, and we're very happy for Zeus, but we're looking for Skye to have the same outcome for her. She's about 2 years old. She's a blue and white pit bull mix. She's about 65 pounds, so she has some strength to her, but really she's just very sweet. She's kind of a goofball a little bit. When you walk past her kennel, you'll frequently see Skye just lounging in her bed, taking nice little naps, and she loves a good belly rub. She likes to roll around on the floor like a silly dog. She's going to make a great companion for a family. She, as I mentioned, has a little bit of strength behind her, and she can pull a little bit on her leash, but that's something that you can easily resolve if you're committed to doing a little bit of polite leash walking training. And she hasn't been doing it as badly. It's mostly when she sees something that she's really interested in, a squirrel or something that she wants to go after, then she'll pull a little bit. But for the most part, she walks pretty nicely on her leash. She's very friendly when you approach her kennel. When other dogs are walking past her kennel, she has no reaction. She previously lived with 2 other dogs in the home, so she's used to having canine companions in her house. She's easy to obtain. When other dogs initiate aggressive behavior with her, then she will respond with barking and things like that, growling. But for the most part, she does really well with other dogs as long as they are friendly with her. She doesn't have any serious issues with food aggression. We were unable to test her for guarding, and she really loves to be petted. As you can see, she's rolling around on her back. She loves those belly rubs, things like that. She's just a very sweet, kind of chill, happy dog, and she just needs a family to love in return for all of the love that she's going to get from them. If you wanted to make Skye part of your family, you want to stop in and visit with her here at the shelter. We are located at 1832 Rosemont Avenue. Our next guest is Bella, and she's one of our shyer animals on the adoption floor. So she's color-coded yellow, and you can kind of tell from her body posture that she's a little uncomfortable. She's kind of got her tail between her legs. She's not as confident, but she is used to Tammy, because Tammy is one of our dedicated volunteers. Tammy walks dogs pretty much every day, so she's starting to get a little bit more comfortable the longer she stays out here, even though there are new people that she hasn't seen and she's kind of in a new environment. It's important with all of our shy animals that you take it slow with them and understand that new things can be scary, and work to properly socialize them and get them used to as many things as you possibly can, so that when they're in your home and they're confronted with something new, a stranger maybe, those things aren't going to be as scary, and they're not going to have kind of reactions that maybe we're not excited to have. So having a dog is a lot of work. So you want to make sure that you're doing the best that you can to provide the best care for her. And sometimes that just means showing her that when a scary person's around, they can give you treats, and then that can kind of ease that nervousness and anxiousness that they have when they start to associate new people and new things with something positive like a treat. For some dogs, that could also be a toy, could be a lot of different things. Bella, even though she's about the same size as Skye, is much younger. She is only 10 months old, and she is a Rottweiler mix. She's a beautiful dog. She, as a puppy, is still going to need someone to work with her on her basic manners, but she does know a nice sit. She keeps her kennel pretty clean. She's friendly when you approach her kennel, but she's also a little bit cautious, as we talked about her being a shy dog. She's nervous with other dogs, but for the most part has no reaction. So you want to make sure that if you're thinking about adding Bella to your family and you have an existing pet, that you bring your dog in here to meet with her and see if they get along. She willingly lets go of objects. She likes to be petted, but again, she's a little bit nervous, especially when they're new people. And she doesn't really have any serious issues with food aggression. She will lick your face, as we've seen with Tammy today. So she has a lot of potential, but she just needs someone who's willing to work with her so that she can be a more confident dog and be the best version of herself. Because she is a puppy that's any dog at the shelter under 1 year, she would be adopted through our puppy process, which means we'll take up to 4 applications for her. There is an extended application with more information that we'll be asking for, and the adoption fee for puppies is $150. The last dog that we have for you is Grandma Tala. We're in a Disney naming convention kick right now, so that name came from Moana, I believe, and she earned that name because she's one of the oldest dogs on the floor right now. She's around 8 years old. We're saying 8+, and she came to us as a stray, and as you can see, her experiences probably haven't been the best until now. She has some scars on her, she's got some hair loss, she's got some calluses that are probably from always laying on hard surfaces. So in some cases, ending up in the shelter can be the best thing that can happen to an animal, because we're going to make sure that they're going to get the proper care that they need. We're going to give them, reliable meals that are healthy for them. We're going to give them warm beds and blankets to sleep on, toys to play with, and people that truly love them, and then find them a home where they're going to get the same thing. So a lot of people are sad when they come into the shelter. One woman in recently was even, crying at how sad it was to see the animals in the cages. But you have to put it into perspective. Like in the case of Grandma Tala here, this is probably the most stable environment that she's had for quite some time. So it's not always a sad place. It can be a very loving place for these animals. And as you can see, she's thriving here. She's playful, she's happy, her tail's wagging, her body language is great. And she has people like Tammy here who will come spend time with her every day, give her the love and affection that she needs. Because she is a senior dog, that comes with medical issues. Any senior animal, you want to make sure that you're prepared to take on the financial and medical responsibilities that come along with that. She does have some issues where she might have some depth perception problems, as her eyes are just aging. She does have some lumps and bumps on her. We're hoping to remove one of those, but the other ones is kind of up to the surgeon's discretion. So you want to make sure, if you're interested in Grandma Tala, that you are reading this medical very carefully and making sure that you can take on all of those financial responsibilities that come with her medical needs. But otherwise, she needs work on training as well, not being housebroken. She uses her kennel as her bathroom frequently, so that's something that you will need to be prepared for as well. But otherwise, she's doesn't act her age. She's very playful. She's very strong. She can pull a little bit. So she has a lot of potential. She's very sweet, and the staff and volunteers here love her. But she will need someone who's patient and can properly train her and give her the medical care that any senior animal needs. If you wanted to add her to your family, you can come in and visit with her. Because she is a senior, she would receive senior discounts in her adoption fee. The last guest that we have on this half of the show is one of our rabbits. We currently have 5 rabbits looking for forever homes here at Animal Control. This is a Cinnabon, and she is a 1-year-old brown lop mix. The lop mixes have those droopy hanging ears and very, very cute. The lops always go pretty quickly around here. Our rabbits are adopted for a fee of $50. That includes a vet check, just like we do all of the animals here. They get Revolution, which is a flea and tick preventative. We also make sure that our rabbits are all spayed and neutered before they leave. So with rabbits, they also need exercise time, so they can't be just living in the cage. You need to take them out, let them run around, stretch their legs. Some people even have their rabbits that live, just similar to a cat. Most rabbits, once they're spayed and neutered, can be litter trained. So some of the rabbits here have not yet been spayed and neutered. So you'll notice that they still have some mess in their cages, especially Sweet Pea. She's our blind rabbit. But once they get used to that, you can train them very similarly to a cat and not have to worry about that. If they are roaming free in the house, you do need to make sure that you are rabbit-proofing your house. They like to chew on things. It's part of their nature. They're going to chew on things. So you need to make sure that they're going to be safe by protecting your wires and things. Not only is it dangerous for the animal, but it's very dangerous for you and your family as well, because chewing on an electrical wire could lead to a fire or something like that, and you want to make sure you're preventing that. If you are looking for a resource so that you can do some research and get some education before deciding whether or not you want to take home a rabbit as a pet, we recommend looking up information from the House Rabbit Society. All of the rabbits that we have available for adoption are house rabbits meant to live indoors. They're not meant to live outside in hutches and things like that. And the House Rabbit Society is really the main place for information. They'll talk to you and have information about what they should be eating, what type of space they should be living in, what their care should be, all of that important stuff, because it is a big responsibility that you want to make sure that you're prepared for. Again, if you're interested in Cinnabon or any of the other rabbits that are available for adoption, you can come in and visit with them. Their adoption fee would be $50 across the board. That's going to wrap it up for this portion of the show. After the break, we're going to introduce you to some of our cats that are looking for forever homes.
The Frederick County Sheriff's Office now offers fingerprinting services 3 days per week, from Tuesday through Thursday. Our goal is to make it more convenient for citizens to have fingerprints taken for employment, licenses, permits, and other important issues like adoption and child care services. The Sheriff's Office will continue to accept credit and debit cards, checks, and money orders as payment for fingerprint fees. Cash is not accepted. For more information, contact the Fingerprint Information Line at 301-600-4058.
Our first feline guest is one of the black cats that we have on the adoption floor. This is Tink, and she came to us as a stray. She's about 1 to 2 years old. We have several black cats on the adoption floor right now, and sometimes it's hard for them to stand out because we have stainless steel cages. They're a dark color. Some of the black cats just kind of blend in, especially if they have dark colored beds or dark colored rugs. So they can be easily missed. You want to make sure that when you're visiting the shelter, you're really checking out all of the cages and looking and seeing what's in there. We have some bottom cages that are also easy to miss animals in, and they might be the animals that are actually the best fit for your family. Another reason that sometimes the black cats get overlooked and passed up on is because there's not much to help them stand out. But Tink has some unique features. She has little white hairs in her ear, and she has a little nick out of one of her ears, and she also has a white patch on her chest. So that helps her stand out a little bit more physically, but she also has a very sweet personality. As you can see, quite content sitting on a lap, getting lavished with love and attention. Volunteers seem to really love spending time with Tink, so that's going to be a representative of how she'll be at home with you, since the shelter is a much more stressful environment. If she's able to be relaxed and kind of trusting to all of these new people in her life, then hopefully she'll be able to settle in quickly in your home as well. And then another thing that kind of deters people sometimes from adopting black cats is superstitions. Here in the States, people think that black cats can be unlucky. The thing is that in most of the other countries in the world, black cats are actually seen as good luck charms. They bring good fortune. There are countries where having a black cat is said to bring you monetary wealth, or if you see one, it's good. If somebody gives you a black cat, it's good luck on your wedding, and all these wonderful things. We're really the only country that sees them as unlucky. So if you're looking to add some good luck to your life, you might want to stop in to Animal Control and see if one of our black cats is going to be a good fit for you. We'll actually introduce you to another one later on in the show. Tink, as a young cat, would be adopted for a fee of $97.50. That includes her spay, as well as her rabies and distemper vaccine, a county license, flea and tick preventative, dewormer, microchipping, and a free well visit to the vet. So you really can't beat what you would get if you would adopt an animal from Animal Control. Again, the first step is to stop in and visit, and our address is 1832 Rosemont Avenue. Our next guest is Buster, and despite having a name that might indicate that she's a boy, she's actually a girl. She's about 5 years old. She's a domestic short-haired gray and white, and she's got beautiful green eyes, a cute little pink nose. She has a lot of great things going for her. But another thing that's going to be really evident when you look at Buster is that she's overweight. We have a lot of overweight cats in the shelter right now. She's one of, I want to say, 6 or 7 that really need strict diets, and a lot of people think that when they love their pets, they're giving them more food, and that's great because they're showing them that they love them. But as we can see so clearly here in the shelter right now with all of our residents, that giving them as much food as they want is not necessarily showing them how much you love them. Sometimes, just like with our children, we have to say no, and it's really for their benefit. Animals that are overweight can develop medical conditions like diabetes and other medical illnesses. They could have issues with mobility, and as is the case with many of our residents, especially Buster, they can have trouble grooming themselves because they just physically can't reach spaces of their body. So then we have to take over and provide those grooming needs for them. Other than her size, volunteers say that Buster is a pretty sweet girl. She did come in with another cat, so if you have existing animals in your home or you're looking to have more than one at some point, Buster does seem to do well with other animals. She was turned in not because of anything she did. Her owner just said that she couldn't keep her. And in addition to the cats, she's also done well with dogs as well, children of all ages. It does say that she's afraid of loud noises, but most cats tend to be afraid of loud noises. It also says that she did well with her litter box, even though her litter box wasn't being cleaned very regularly. It says it was cleaned 1 to 2 times a week. Here we clean all of our litter boxes at least once a day, and that would be our recommendation for any cat owners out there, is that the cleaner they are, the more likely your animals are going to be to use those litter boxes. If you're interested in helping Buster get down to a healthy weight, maybe you too are looking to shed a few pounds before summer hits, you can visit with her here at Frederick County Animal Control. If you wanted to see what her application status was before coming in and making the trip to the shelter, you can always give us a call. Our number is 301-600-1546. We talked earlier in the show about animals who have a hard time standing out because they kind of look like every other animal, and Oreo definitely doesn't have that problem. He's got some very unique markings. His face is just adorable, and he's got that nice black spot on his nose. He's got white feet with little black spots on them. He's got a white tip at the end of his tail. He's just got a lot of character just as far as his overall look. But he is also a sweet cat. He's a little bit more reserved than some of the animals on the adoption floor right now. He was turned to us because the owners didn't have a place to live themselves, so they were unable to provide proper care for Oreo. So they brought him here to us so that we could find him a suitable home. They did say that it takes him a little bit of time to warm up to people. which is, not uncommon for animals. He's just a little shy at first. He's a slow burn. So you want to be patient with him. We have not color-coded him as one of our shy animals, however. He's just color-coded orange, which means that he's an average cat. He wants to do things when he wants to do it, and that's what makes cats great companions. He has previously lived with other cats. He's lived with dogs as well. He's used to being around children of all ages. Other than being a little bit shy around new people and nervous, afraid of noises, they have lots of great things to say about him. He's playful, he's energetic, he's friendly, and he can be a bit of a lap cat. Although from what we're seeing right now, he's perfectly happy to sit on your lap, but he's wants to do the spins, and it takes him a while to find that comfy spot where he's happy to plop down and stay there for an extended period of time. He's kind of being a typical cat and walking all over Tammy and putting his tail and his butt right in her face. So he's comfortable with her, all right. But you can see from he's showing her where he wants to be petted. He's pretty confident once he gets comfortable with a new person. He seems to be doing a little bit of kneading as he's walking around, so he's going to be a good fit in any family. You just want to make sure that you're respecting his space and acknowledging that when new people come over to your house, he might not want to greet all of them. He might be wanting to kind of hang out in the bedroom and feel safe and comforted in that space that's familiar to him. Because Oreo is an adult cat, he would again go home for our typical cat adoption fee, which is $97.50. I mentioned earlier in the show that we were going to have more than one black cat, and this is our second black cat of the day. This is Randall, and he is a little nervous about being out in a new situation. He's had a lot of things going on in his life recently. Not only has he been brought to the shelter, where he's been forced to face new animal smells, new animal noises, lots of strangers, just living away from the family that he's known for about 3 years. Even before then, there were a lot of changes in his home. The reason that Randall was brought to us was because his owner said that he doesn't like babies and that he didn't get along with the new baby in the house, and that he was kind of going to the bathroom on some of the baby's items and things like that. It's important for people to understand that when you're bringing home a new child, you need to introduce the animal to the child properly. There is lots of materials out there online and in different types of books that can help you make those transitions. The animals oftentimes are not getting as much attention as they used to. There's new noises and new smells that they're not familiar with. Sometimes they're restricted from where they're allowed to be. Rooms that used to be their homes and where they like to hang out are now off limits to them. So there's lots of stuff that you can do to get them used to baby noises, baby smells, and just making sure that you're still providing them with time so that they don't resent the new baby in the house because they're getting all of your attention all the time. So just doing a little bit of research will go a long way to making sure that your transition to having a new member of the family come in will be smooth. Even though he's a little uneasy here in the studio right now, everybody says that Randall is the sweetest cat in his cage. He can be a little bit more reserved, a little shy. He's color-coded orange as average, but he's a little bit, more into hiding behind his hammock and things like that. But once you get to know him, he's super sweet, and Randall is a very fitting name for him because Randall is probably the sweetest character on This Is Us, and our Randall is also very, very sweet. So if you want to take this sweet guy home, you can visit him here at the shelter. Our next guest is quickly becoming a favorite. Some of our staff members might even say she is their favorite cat on the adoption floor. This is Pocahontas, again, more of our Disney naming convention. She's about 6 months old. She's domestic shorthair. She's a tortie. Aside from her just calm demeanor, her overall sweetness, one thing that people are really going to notice when they look at her is that she does have a problem with one of her eyes. We have posted her cage so that people know that we're aware of it, and we're working on that. According to her vet notes, it looks like her third eyelid, because cats, if you're not aware, do have a kind of third eyelid that goes over, has adhered to her upper lid. So we're going to see if we can get that eyelid trimmed to kind of help her, but there are extensive vet notes about that. So again, just like we talk about with older animals, you want to make sure you're reading those vet notes properly, because it might be something where with our surgical intervention, it could be permanently fixed, or it could be something that's going to have to be continually watched and worked on throughout her entire life. You want to make sure you're prepared to take that on if necessary. Right now, it doesn't seem to be affecting her behavior too much. It just kind of makes her unique, makes her stand out amongst the crowd. Again, she's super sweet. Because of her easygoing attitude, she's one of the animals that we've selected to go to events with us. She was brought to us as a stray, so it's hard to say whether she escaped or whether she was just born outside, but she definitely has that very sweet, calm personality that's going to make her a great companion pet for any person, whether you have kind of you're a single person, you live in a quiet house, or you've got some rambunctious kids who are looking to add a kitten to their house. Because she is a kitten, kittens tend to get lots of applications. Our process here for our cats is that we take up to 2 applications and then choose the best fit for the family, or for the animal, excuse me. You know, best fit could mean any number of things. For shyer cats, a quieter house might be a better fit. For cats that maybe have some behavioral quirks, cat-savvy homes might be the best fit. People who have experience with cats with illnesses or overweight cats. There's any number of things. But if we get to a situation where both of those applications come down to being equal, typically we kind of go with the first person who put in the application. We do our best to make sure that our process is fair, but what's most important to us is that we're sending all of our animals into loving homes that are going to provide them the proper care that they need for the rest of their lives. Just making sure that, you know, in addition to the responsibility of feeding and giving vet care, you want to make sure that you're able to care for your pets for the rest of their lives. Cats can live anywhere between 10 and 20 years, so you want to make sure you're fully prepared to take on that commitment when you're adopting one of the felines that we have here at our shelter. The last cat that we have for you today is Lou, and he's actually been on the show before, but he's coming up into a long-time resident status, and we wanted to give him another opportunity to show what a great companion pet he can be. Lou's about 4 years old, and he is one of our big guys. He weighs in at about 16.5 pounds, and even though Lou is a great cat, he does have some quirks that would make him not necessarily the greatest pet for every family. So we have some restrictions on what type of home that Lou can go to, and the main thing is that he needs to go to an adult-only home. Because Lou responds poorly to restraint. He doesn't like to be held in one place. He's a very independent guy, and if you tried to hold him too tightly or kind of get right in his face and hold him down, he might lash out and bite. So for that reason, we want him to go to an adult home only, so that adults have more of a better understanding of cat behavior. They can read those signals and they can understand, okay, this is a cat that I can't really pick up, but I can pet in other ways. So Lou would do better in a cat-savvy house. So again, people can read his body language and know what he's going to do, so that they can avoid him having to kind of be louder in how he's communicating with his body language. Lou is a very active guy. He's one of the guys that is a little overweight, so we're kind of watching what he eats. As you can see, he's perfectly content to scratch on things. He's a little frustrated right now because he wants to get out and run around and roam and play and explore, and we've kind of contained him in this exercise pen. This is Lou, and not force him to be anything other than Lou. Because he is 4 years old still, he would go home for that $97.50 adoption fee. If you wanted to come in and visit with him, we would encourage people to do that. Our hours of operation, where our kennels are open and our animals are able to be viewed are Monday, Tuesday, and Friday from 10 to 5, Wednesday and Thursday from 12 to 8, and Saturday from 10 to 4. That's the end of our show this week. We thank you for tuning in and hope that you'll tune in again next week when we introduce you to many more of the animals that are available for adoption here at Frederick County Animal Control.